Welcome to Corks and Convo, a podcast that dives into real life topics. I'm your host, Regina, along with my co hosts, Shadon and Tiffany. Each week, we'll be exploring topics that women over 50 experience. So, whether you're 18 or 80, you're in the right place. Grab your wine, grab your ear pods, and get ready for an uncorked conversation. Ladies, today we'll be talking about raising Black boys to be men. Okay, so we're all boy moms. So this is a special to our heart kind of topic. Tell me your experiences in raising Black boys to men. Shadon, you go first.
Whew, my sunshine, honey. I love him to death. But I would say, let's see, from maybe like birth to junior high, my son sailed all the way through. About junior high, that's when he started to really start to smell himself. That age bracket I always talk about. He started to kind of smell himself. But his mom, me was off the chain. Like I was off the chain. I was out here cussing and fussing and doing all types of stuff. So these are things that I think he saw, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, do I think it was the best? I was just being who I was at that time. But nevertheless, like some of the things that I think I showed him even at an early age wasn't the bestest. I wasn't the bestest at that time. I was learning myself. I was young. But as I got older and now I think me and my son have a really good relationship where I can kind of talk to him and guide him. I'm the quarterback on the team now, so I can just kind of quarterback things and kind of lead him in directions and see what's going on with his mind and talk to him. I always tell him I'm the number one person because he's talking to females, and I was like, hey, like put me on the team, tag me in because I can give you all the advice, but I was not able to give him like the manly advice.
Yeah, I understand that. Like you said, we all did the best we could with what we had.
Mhm.
Um, and in raising a Black son, I knew that as a woman, I definitely do not feel like a Black woman can raise a boy to be a man in all of the areas that he needs.
Mhm.
So thank God, just me, all three of us have our dads in our life that stepped in to be that critical role that the guys needed, all of the sons needed. But also what I did was I kind of leaned into showing him what a woman needs from a man. That was
Mm.
my perspective. So my perspective was, I remember like driving him places and I'll be like, you need to get out and pump my gas. Like this is what a
Mhm.
man does with his woman. Things like that. Take the trash out. Like these are the things that a woman expects of a man. So I really did try to come from that aspect with him and also try to let him know that it's some things I just don't know from the male perspective. And when
Yeah.
you need that, you have to go to Poppy because I just didn't have it. And although his father was or is still here in his life, they just didn't have the best relationship. So I just encouraged him to reach out to my dad whenever he, had boy stuff that I couldn't help with.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, same here. My mom and dad, my dad especially, I just see how, my son gravitates toward him. And I also see, like, for me, just like Shadana said, you teach them all that you can teach them, but then there's sometimes you have to hand them over to the men,
Mhm.
so that the men can cultivate some of the things you can't. But yeah, it's been a great opportunity, I think, for me. Um, it's been great. Like I've been able to really put myself aside,
Mhm.
sacrifice, a lot of
Yeah.
sacrificing.
Oh, it is. Parenting is.
Parenting is period a sacrifice
Mhm.
for
Mhm. And
sure.
still, and like at this point, even at this age, you never really stop being a parent.
Hmm.
But just like what I said, like guidance,
Yeah.
still, you know, guiding and trying to see what makes his mind tick, because he's totally the opposite of me and has always been the opposite of me.
And also, even being a grandmother to a grandson, I even try to give guidance to my daughter regarding my grandson, because I've been there. So I'm telling her, put him in certain things, some things that's going to exert that extra energy that boys have, like, keep him busy, talk to him, but also let him know that his feelings are valid as well. And don't do this, men don't cry type of thing, because you need to be able to express yourself. But how do you express yourself? So that's the biggest thing that I try to tell my daughter about my grandson. But it has been, I would say, this new age of these children and the grandchildren, they different, honey. They different. They different.
No, my grandson is ready, set, go. He is totally his grandmom. And I say that to him. I'd be like, when you know that your combination, I'd be like, what's your combination? Because I was telling him, just like, I know you're going to go off. So when you know that you have, I was like, know your combination in life. Like how many buttons it takes for you to go there. And I was like, you and I's combination is one. I mean, one button, it don't matter which button they pushing, I'm off. And I'd be like, I need you to, learn to control that. Learn to walk away from that. My son's combination was long, but my grandson, like one, he's calling me like, Grandma, I got suspended. And I'd be like, what happened? Like that combination. I was like, you did not know. I was like, you could not walk away. I was like, you got to know your combination.
Look, it takes years to get your combination together, because I can tell you some days my combination is longer and some days it's short. It just really depends. So I understand that. But also, one of the things that I told my daughter to incorporate with my grandson was therapy. Like, let these kids have a outlet to talk, to be able to say things, but also it gives you a chance to learn a different part of them in a different way, so we can approach parents in a different way. So that has been really good also for my daughter.
Yeah, I think I went to counseling with my son in high school, and to hear just, some of the things that he was going through at school, because you don't know actually what's going on in the classroom and stuff. And at that moment, I thought, I'm like, I got to go in the classroom and I got to listen to what the teacher is saying, but also hear what he is saying. And then I got to come up with the story, which is my truth. And I'd be like, well, I heard what she said. And I'm trying to teach my son like that to go to the school. And I was like, no, his feelings are valid, but you have to be able to decipher. I was like, this is what comes with being a parent, is being able to hear and decipher what they're saying. Because even though your child, not every time they're correct, but you have to definitely be able to communicate, to talk to them about what happened, versus always jumping in and punishing and beating, because their feelings are valid. And if not that, you take it away. So I was like, you have to be able to listen. And I was like, as you get older, it gets better. That those are one of the things I'm showing up talking to him about. We also kind of talked about dress. Just recently, my son lost his grandmother, his father's mother. And I was like, so you're not going to just an average person's service, I was like, make sure my grandson is dressed. And I was even talking to my grandson about it, like learning when to show respect. This is your great grandmother, and I expect you. And because the first question was, does any one of these people have black socks? Please, Lord Jesus, let's not go in here and you sitting in the front row and I see that you got on white socks. I was like, I'm probably going to pass out. Put me in the casket, please. My son was looking like, what? I don't know black socks. I was like, Let me sit all the way in the back. I said to my grandson, you better get some dark socks. I don't want to see no white socks with this.
So I think that one of the things that I've been good with, well, one of the things that my kids have been really good with is knowing the appropriateness of different things. So like that funeral, that would have been one of the times that, I don't require them to do much, but they know when to put something on. So those things, but also one of the things that I had learned is that sometimes our kids don't show us something, but they show other people. So for example, my dad said just this past weekend that he got to meet my son's ex-supervisor, and he said that person just raved and raved and raved about Reggie, and I was like, who is that? But I always get that about him. People love him. One of my childhood girlfriends was working with Reggie. Reggie does the help desk, and she recognized him from my pictures of whatever. So she called me to tell me, your son is this, your son is that. So they get on our nerve, but at least they know how to act in the street. So that means we did something right, y'all. We did something right.
I don't know. I'm trying to tell you, mine was totally different. I hear all the raves. My mother would be like, what should I say? She liable to say anything out here. And I'd be like, go tell her. He most definitely is going to put on his best when he's outside. Now, he might not be dressed appropriate. And that's you're going to have to tell me he wasn't dressed appropriate. Because like he most definitely has in his mind, I should be able to do and wear what I want, which you are. It's just a time and a place for it. Just saying that and not like you have to do this, just kind of guiding. I never had you out looking crazy. You never went to, you always had what you needed for that particular situation. So I need you to step that up and make sure my baby has what he needs.
Yeah.
And show him. Because I was like,
I think you made a good point. I think you made a good point, Shadon, about that respect. I had to learn also it's twofold. So it goes both ways. I respect him. He respects me for sure. But I think that helps a lot because as he's older now at 18, I'm learning he's not a kid no more. He's not a little baby, anymore. So I have to, hear him, listen to him, and, all of that.
I think when my son was young and we would tussle or whatever, the next day, I am a person of communication, regardless of where I'm at, personal life, all of that, I need communication. And so after the fact, I love to come back and let's talk about what happened. And so those are one of the things for him to see where I'm coming from. And I can see where he's coming from. Because, when you're upset and he's in trouble or something happened at school or whatever the case may be, I only see it from one perspective. And that's what I was saying to my son about being able to hear.
Yeah, I always used to tell my son if the school called, because they was going to call.
They are.
Because so with my son, he was him and my daughter, they were very smart. My son got skipped so much that my daughter was like, Mom, don't let him get skipped no more. He gonna be up here with me, and they 6 years apart. So she would say stuff like that. So because he had gotten skipped a few times, he just didn't have the maturity. So work was easy for him. So he would finish his work and he'd be joking and playing in class and distracting the class. So I would get phone calls about that, never about his work, because he was smart and he could do the work. So what I had to explain to him was that I'm always going to be for you, but don't go out here and do something crazy and think I'm going to say that it's okay for you to be doing something crazy. Now, if they doing something wrong, I got you.
Yeah.
But if you in here acting foolish and you wrong, I'm not going to allow you to be acting crazy. So an example of being on his side, I got you because the teacher wrong. He had this math teacher. She was from the Philippines. Her accent was so thick. When she called me, I was like, what? What did you saying? And me and him got the same name. So she called. I was like, who are you trying to talk to, lady? Like, I couldn't even understand her. So when I went to her class and I sat in the class and talked to this lady, I told her the God's honest truth. I'm glad that you are here to teach kids, but I have to tell you that I'm having a hard time understanding you. So I can only imagine what the kids are thinking. I'm concentrating. They ain't got that. They don't have that to sit there and try to figure out what you're saying. They gonna be like, what? So I can see how the attention span gets, because I was like, I really don't know. So you know what I ended up telling this lady? And I told the principal, she needs to, after she has class, she needs to give written instructions every single day, because I don't know what she said. And that's exactly what they did. They had to implement it because this lady's accent was so heavy. I couldn't understand anything she said. I don't know what she was saying. She was calling him oregano. Wow. That's what it sounded like she was saying, oregano. And he was like, that's not my name. I'm just saying oregano. I don't know what oregano is besides some a seasoning. I don't know.
Seasoning. No, I think at the beginning, because my son was very quiet. He was like the opposite of me. And so I felt like he couldn't do anything wrong, because they're different outside of your home. They do different things. And I would go up and they're like, what you saying? What you saying? He used to tell the teacher, I wouldn't call her if I was you. I would not call her if I was you. She was like, I'm going to call her. No, ma'am. Like, who are you talking about? No, ma'am. And I got to go in there and really, see, like, he was real good at elementary, but, junior high, he needed structure. And still to this day, I tell my son that you are a person that needs structure. If you give him the leeway, like how it's flexibility, you can come in at whatever time, as long as you're here by 10, he's going to get there at 9:59. And still to this day, at a grown age, he's going to get there at 9:59. It's because, hey, they gave me the time. He's not one of those that's going to, have it. Like, I'm going to be like, well, I'm going to get there early so I can get out. But that was just our thought pattern. This one right here is totally not a morning person, but you have to say, be here by 7. He might get there, but I'm trying to tell you, he's going to push the envelope. Love him dearly, but totally going to push the envelope. He don't even come through for me on time. I'm still waiting for him today to get my case of water out the trunk. So I'm just like, love him. He does everything, at this age is perfect for me, but still has some growing, and I'm just, how you say, along for the ride. I'm enjoying my grandsons. I'm enjoying all of these things. I'm outnumbered, it's like, Marie, you got a girl, but I have all boys. This is, and I'm outnumbered, but they totally, I lie to you now, they will run down the steps to get my groceries.
Like Shadon, so you remember when our boys would be playing football and all of the things and all the sleepovers at each other's houses? Do you see any of the characteristics of Davon as in his 2 sons and your 2 grandsons?
So I would say my oldest, I told you, my oldest grandson is crack popple, like he's gonna pop off immediately. My youngest is just like his dad, totally. And I said that I was like,
cool and collected,
real calm back. You got to rev him up for him to get something going. But I told him, I said, I'm gonna tell you this. I didn't seen it. I was like, you better get him, because by junior high, that's when it's gonna come. Because that structure, if he's on structure, you got him. When you give him, like, once you leave elementary school, you go to junior high, you're moving around, going to different classes, but you're going together. As soon as he got to high school and they were switching classes and everybody going which way, it was too much freedom for him. It wasn't structured. And he struggled with that. He just was like, well, I can get there whenever I want to. That's what they said. No, that's not what they really meant. But
so my daughter has my grandson.
Mhm.
So I always tell anybody that when Reggie has a child, he is going to be a good dad. He is 31, and he is the one who all of the other people in the family that have kids call to babysit their children because he is so good with kids.
Mhm.
So I hope he gets a woman who wants kids because he's going to be a really good dad. And I hope he have me a little girl because this little grandson of mine, oh Jesus, he do not play about me. When I tell you this grandson is serious, when I told him about the fiance, because when it all happened, I didn't know, but the fiance had got everybody together, the whole family together, and he, asked me in front of everybody. My daughter came down, my son was here, everybody was here, my nephew was home from college, like everybody was here. I didn't know that he had planned it like that, but anyway, my daughter said to me, I'm gonna let you call Cam and tell him, because she already knew he was not going to love it. So my daughter is my favorite daughter. My son is my favorite son, and my grandson is my favorite of everybody. So that's how I have him. So he always be like, Yammy, ain't I'm your favorite? I was like, you're my favorite. I love you the most. I say to him all the time. But baby, when the fiance came into play, you know what this joker said? Yammy, you need to do the FBI check on him. He might be a scammer. He told me I was honey, and I might do an FBI check on him. That one right there is so territorial about me. So, if it's another baby coming in the family, I'm scared for their life because he might have a problem with it. So I wanted to be a girl because I could say she my favorite girl.
Okay. My grandson, when I was telling him about my friend, and I'll say, I'm going out, I'm doing this. And he'd be like, what? Where you going? You coming to get me? I'm going. And I'm like, no, grandma has to go out. She got to have her own life. I can hear his mother in the background. Your grandma got to have her own life. Because I'm trying to tell you, we're like pencil and eraser. If he was right here, if he was here today, he would be just like a little puppy. He'd be right here on my arm. I'd just be patting his little head while I'm talking to you guys. Like, it's going to be all right. And he's 13. I lie to you not. He still comes and lays on my chest. And if I let him, he was laying my bed. I lie to you not.
13? I didn't know he was that old.
Yep.
Wow. That was fast.
It was. But when I say pencil and eraser, nonstop. It's me and him. I'd be like, oh, I got to go get the groceries. He'd be like, he'd be like, Grandma, I get it. Grandma, I get it. He got my garden together. He's got it all. He gonna put
that's good.
I got it. I'd be like, wait, what can I do? Grandma, I got it. He get out, he pump my gas. If he in the car, he gonna pump my gas.
Yeah.
Now, what I can tell you is I am the ATM dog. I pay him well. I tell him I pay him well. I give him allowance because I'd be like, just because I look at it and it might be wrong, but I'd be like, it's such a blessing to me. You really are such a blessing. Because as I am, I'm old. I'd be like, oh, Jesus, this case of water is heavy. I'm trying to get it up the steps. He's like, Grandma,
yes, it is.
I'd be like, oh, what should I do? I don't even know what to do when he here. I just got my hands out. He gonna bring the clothes down. He gonna bring them up. All of that. I love him dearly, so I pay him well for his services. But I always like honestly.
Well, guys, I think we.
Go ahead.
Well, guys, I think we have had a great discussion. I think we're at 24 minutes. Anybody else with any other comments or things to talk about?
Nope.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and raise our glasses. And we just want to thank everybody for joining for another Courts and Convo. Thank everybody for joining for another Courts and Convo. And thanks for uncorking another great, amazing conversation about our boys And I hope you guys have a great remainder of the day. And thank you for joining us. Goodbye.
Cheers.
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 Sunshine.